I like the difference of an opinion. I like that when we have in the studio. Okay, we're ready for map number 2, Mirage, Bpro versus Impossible. Flakes and Jay takes away.
Map number 2 is going to be kicking off this pistol round. Going to be an exciting one. Will Impossible live up to what the analysts have said and actually be able to play some Counter-Strike? Or are we going to see just a very minuscule amount of rounds that don't really add up to anything worth talking about? That is the question of the day right now. That is the storyline of this match. A response that we are going to find ourselves with very, very soon as the pistol round does unfold. It is going to be a few shots coming out from some Glocks here and there. Impossible charging out on towards his B site, yet to find a frag, but with a lot of control on the site itself, as the USB is going to let rip Poison to find that first blood, but the second surely goes in favour of Jovan.
Bomb goes planted, but Bpro still have themselves the man advantage. Cycling on 10 HP, so if Jovan goes pushing, he can be able to find himself that first kill. But there's Ships getting himself 2 nice headshots. Jovan and Akimov pushing a little bit too for the close range combat. Now just a 2 versus 4, 2 versus 3, as Imsom gets himself 1 headshot. But once again, Leffy is there to shut the whole thing down. Zeno, last man alive, is going to get tapped away by the USPs. And meanwhile, the bomb defuse will come in. Ships will get that last kill. And Impossible, a round that fell apart so quickly just because too many players tried to commit to one particular angle straight in towards the market and 2 headshots. From there, it was all Bpro, and Bpro land themselves a pistol.
Thinking the perfect parts in the chain together to build up with the perfect start, right? You couldn't ask for anything better if you're a Bpro fan right now. It's what they want going into this game. The Swift at 2-0 and the first pistol. Best way to accelerate that storyline is now they're just going to basically be patient, wait for the smoke setup that Impossible are going to try and execute and see if they can do any sort of blocker to stop that from really leaking through that much. The push does come in. Blocker is ironically able to find that first pick. Leffy going to fly out with the UMP and do a whole lot of damage from behind, making hella money. Eventually is going to be a mop-up coming in from the rifles. 2-0 now for Bpro. Impossible unable to walk out on A.
Very easy stuff from Bpro. Impossible looking for that rifle buy up in this round once again, very similar to how we had it go down on Cash. AK is full of it out for this team side. 3 smokes available, but Bpro going to opt for mid control, which is exactly where Impossible are looking to go as well. Insom's down 59, Jovan down 66 with a good grenade that came in from Poison holding out towards Sniper Nest. And Impossible will try for the B site again this time. Bombs up towards the short area, and they are going as quick as they can to try and get themselves as much map control, really insert themselves into the Bpro line of things. If we Poison getting that first pick, however, Akimov does go down. And Impossible just so far looking for a way back into this, and Psycho's actually got himself a very good angle as well. He might be able to drop the bomb. Indeed, he will. Takes down 1 more, and now it's a 3 versus 5. Insom's down. They have the information on where the bomb is now. CTs only need to find themselves good positions to rotate and back up their buddy. There's 2 more picks go to the favour of Poison and Ships. It's all Plazino. 1 versus 5. Nothing he can do here up towards the ladder room. Might see if he can take the one of the M4s or AKs out of their hands, but not much more than that here. He was really not looking for a round victory. They have every single angle locked out. There's nothing available for him in this case. 40 seconds on the clock. What's he going to do? He's going to push out towards short, looking for whatever CTs he can find, but so far no one's biting, and once they do peek and find him, they should be able to win out the aim duel against him. So it will be a 3rd round on the board for Bpro. Very nicely done from the defensive.
Honestly, I wonder what our European Moses thinks about that one, because it feels very, very decisive from the CT side. A 3-0 lockdown, Impossible already looking like they are the struggling side. I argue they need to show us something soon. Very much rather than later, because if they're a team that are slow to get going, Bpro have already shown how they punish teams who have that sort of playstyle, have that sort of momentum.
Well, once again, an eco standard for the Impossible lineup. Bpro clean things up within seconds. 4-0. Easily done, of course. After that rifle, you don't have a lot of money, but now it's max round loss bonus. Oh, sorry, 4 round loss bonus, excuse me. So the 4th buy is up for these guys. AWPs, AKs. Zeno's going to take his AWP, I assume, towards middle to look for that opening pick. Actually, he's heading in towards the apps area, seeing if he can try and find that opener on towards the B site instead. So far, Impossible not going to go for that same mid-aggression because it may end up costing them, because Poison's got the AWP locked out. In fact, Jovan will take the peek and get himself the info. Fortunately, it doesn't go down because he did just get legged down to 17 HP. And Impossible now looking for an opening into wherever they really need to go here. So far, it's not been early picks for these for either side at this point. They're getting themselves a small amount of map control, one player, and setting himself in towards the middle and short area, and now it will just be execution on towards the B site. In fact, it will be 1-for-1 trades, and now the CTs will try and lock them out here. 3 players left alive for the Impossible side. Joven will come in from short, taking down ships, but he's trading for Joven. Joven does get traded out eventually, so now a 3v2 situation. Impossible, I think one of their players has actually got some issues out towards T-Spawn, but yeah, Akimov has had a DC issue, but the issue was only called out after damage was done to the player in middle after getting legged. So, of course, the round will have to continue as it does state in the rulebook of how this tournament does get run. Blazino will be able to get one more pick. He's going to be the last man alive in a 1 versus 3. Now just a 1 versus 2. His left field blocker coming in from both angles, trying to see if they can stop the bomb plant. And the last Impossible player going to see if he can try to get a bomb plant. Might be able to lock this one out with the AWP. However, they're moving in slowly, looking for that one spray down. Looking for that one chances to take themselves a 5th down on the board, and indeed they will be able to do so. Impossible to get themselves a bomb plant. So that plus the max loss bonus might be able to give themselves a little bit extra money to work with in the next round. 5 rounds on the board for Bpro. Indeed, it should be a buy coming in for Impossible.
I literally can't say enough. It's like my heart almost just goes out to Impossible right now. Like, right when they were trying to get going, right when they were trying to fight, like that comes along and just strikes them back yet again. It's just almost like it's not meant to be right now. It's like try and make the best out of what they've got, but I mean they've got a call to pause there just to even try and mentally reset. Just take a few seconds to basically bash out that an issue happened and that they basically just have to try and kind of remotivate themselves after that. You know, if you're a player on that team, it's going to be a struggle because you're thinking to yourself, all right, it's we were 4-0 down. We had what we needed to try and compete for 1 round. Then one of our players DCs and I'm left in an impossible situation. It's tough to stomach, but hopefully Impossible do bounce back. There's now 5 rounds on the board, all going one direction. Tomso does get the nice little entry pick on towards ramp, but the adjustments are where the problems will come in. Bpro, that AWP on Poison, be lethal and connected.
And Bpro so far have won. I mean, they've got ships on that quick rotation angle, so he can very easily just be the extra thorn in the side for the Impossible lineup in the event that they do try to hit down on a site. But for now, with Bomb making its way in towards middle, they've actually pushed Poison's AWP in towards Sniper Nest and out towards CT to try and cover off the best long-range angles on either site here. And again, quick rotations can be called from him. He's going to be a particularly good power player for the CT, so when it comes down to the defensive line now, Impossible will start to make their way in towards the site. I don't think the bomb, no, yes, the bomb has been spotted because Poison is on his way for the rotation, but Akimov still going to take that first pick. Joven with a second, and now a 2 versus 5 will ensue to the favour of the Impossible side, and I think Poison and Blocker are already going to back this one off, leave it be, let Impossible have a round, and just save that AWP and M4 into the next one because it is going to be most valuable to them not to lose it, not to necessarily reinvest, because an AWP out of the action, an AWP that they have to buy back into, is going to be such a big investment that it could put Bpro's economy on a bit of shaky water here. 5-1 will be in favour of Bpro, of course. They'll save them weapons into the next round. And they should be able to buy around that on ships, Psycho and Leffy. So, there it is, Impossible, with a bit of aggression and a little bit of luck, we're able to claim themselves the first here on round number 6.
Gotta start somewhere, and this is where Impossible are going to kickstart their journey. The one Bpro playing, of course, for that reset, and just how dastardly it would be if they get away with it. Bear in mind, saving an EWP and then M4A4 is a pretty valuable save, if you ask me. A lot, really, you can gain from that. Of course, then they opt to buy up a secondary AWP, and then rifles to support them. With all the utility, well, Impossible in the meantime, get a scrape by to get maximum rifles out, of course, all 5 AKs. Plenty of utility in their own right too, so it's not all that bleak. But this double setup, it would have been bought without a game plan, and I'm very, very curious to see what it will achieve before Impossible try and close down that distance.
Well, Poison's got himself set up out towards the B site. Actually, both of them set out towards the B site. So, yeah, you're right about how this setup has actually kind of gone. And as a result, Bpro are going to be able to take middle control, taking down ships to start things off. And, yeah, very weird setup coming in from Poison and Psycho. Poison will eventually rotate out towards Sniper and see if he can try and regain mid control for the CT side. and Bpro will just once again reset themselves to thin angles across the board. 2 on either side. Again, both AWPs on B. Impossible have themselves a lot of angles, a lot of aggression in towards this map control. One in connector, one out towards the ladder room. And actually will spot out Blocker. Joven's going to take him right down out of the action. 5-on-3 situation. Now it's going to be up to Leffy. Told this very aggressive angle. Will spot out to 3 of them. It's only going to be able to take down 1. Gets a little bit of take damage onto the other 2. But at the end of the day, this is a 2 versus 4 situation for Bpro. Poison and Psycho. 2 AWPs last left alive. Already Psycho's decided to back off, and Poison just holding face, looking for an exit frag at maybe at best, but definitely not going to be the best situation for the Bpro side. That round fell apart a little bit too quickly. And I think had they put those AWPs, or at least one of the AWPs out towards middle to stop Impossible getting middle control, this round may have gone a little bit more differently, but it's not different. It is how it is right now. It will be a second round on the board for the Impossible side. Bpro going to start losing some ground against the T's. And their economy is still sitting all right with them. Blockers down to 10k. So they should be able to buy back here. For a couple of weapons do need to be dropped, but a buyback nonetheless is on the cards with 2 AWPs in play. 5-2 favour of the Bpro side.
Still a pretty successful lead Bpro side to try and toy with, but one that now being thinned away by the Impossible lineup. And if they get their third, you could really argue this chipping effect is going to start to take hold, as Bpro will eventually run out of money, and just it's a matter of if quickly it's going to be. It's just a matter of when is it actually going to take hold. Apt about it. Plenty of picks this time around with the AWP start to roll in, and a double setup played much better. It's going to be a secondary follow-up coming in from Psycho as well, as he gets the repeat down on towards Akimov. A bomb carrier and Savat alone just to try and wander in through apps. Blaz looking to try and force back with that flick, does find it on towards ships, but a second to face and a second to land. Further on towards his site. Careful mission to take though. As Leffy playing the off angle here in effect. Certainly one that could try and catch off guard this T side, but in a 3v2, they're realizing, hold on, we could be flanked here, we could be aggressed upon. So with 55 seconds on the clock, let's take our time here. Let's not rush this one. Play as smart as we physically can. We've got a lot of utility to play with here in terms of the Molotovs. They can throw those out, they can clear out a whole lot of this site and really create a nice little wall to allow them safe passage in. Problem is, they're taking so much time that Blocker gets into this spot. Once he's able to take this fight, not only does he have all the information, but then he has just the perfect flank, and they're not going to be checking it this time around. It is going to be easy for him to get both of those frags. As he's just nice and patient, and patience rewards.
6-2 now. Bpro will take one back against Impossible, but once again the rebuy is on the cards here for the T side. It will be a bit deep in terms of the economical pool. Not a whole lot to be working with in the next round, regardless of how things do go at the end of this round here. AWP and 4 AKs are in play, and there will be mid-control gathered by the Bpro side here. So definitely a more standardized setup. However, they have still got 3 players on the A site itself, and Impossible once again get themselves middle control. So definitely not going to be the best of situations regardless. Short will be taken. It will be Psycho in the ladder window, so he can try to take down as many players as he can. Will spray away, but Joven will take that pick. AWP will make his way on towards site as well, and Poison's going to peek straight into it. 3 versus 5, but Ships still fragging back. Will still spot out the second. Get here in the footsteps of the third. Drops the bomb, sprays away, takes himself a 3k. Gets straight eventually by Akimov, and now it's down to a 2-on-2 situation. Bomb's been dropped. Blocker and Leffy have this information. They also know that Akimov is still on site. He'll still peek. He'll still take himself a second, and Insom's coming in the back and will take down Blocker as well. Impossible, a very quick round, will get themselves 3 on the board.
One way to break the back of Bpro. It's about to make it very costly for them. Rounds that they do pick up with a nice little English response coming in from Impossible, of course, to make it 6-3. Who have plans is going to be able to punish Poison. A nice early frag in the round 2 is certainly the way to begin to ice this cake. Oh, very aggressive on towards short. Now, they do have to be careful of Psycho, who's going to be playing right in that smoke. In fact, looking right up on the tips of them as they cross right through. How much can he actually do here? The answer is absolutely nil. UMP is going to just punish him. A swift little headshot to be delivered right in the back of the cranium. This point-and-click execution is enough to carry Impossible further forward into this round. The 10th, of course, is where we are sat. 6-3, very pivotal, actually. We do see this one kind of transform and really push forward into that kind of 6-4, 6-5 region. And Impossible want to make something out of their T-side of Mirage. But now, though, in the present, it's going to be a whole lot of patience to be brought in by this T-side. They're not going to risk anything at all. They're just going to wait. Bpro are going to hold some angles and just kind of play very reactively to the style that Impossible will bring.
50 seconds on the clock. Still a two-man advantage for Impossible, regardless of what Bpro are trying to play at here. Giving up most of the control of the A site for the Impossible current Impossible setup. They can go through mid in towards the connector area and pretty much have full reign of the A sites. Neffy's going to have to set up a crossfire or watch the cross if he wants to try and defend against that. And Impossible have themselves some very good angles. Neffy's holding face, might take down the Oven. Indeed, he will take him out of the action, but that's allowed the bomb to go down. Akimov will come on through, and now the AWP will just peek on through, and ships will also go down. It will be 6-4 in favour of the Bpro side, but Impossible bringing themselves within 2 rounds of that lead. A quick tech pause for Bpro. The player has crashed once again here. Either way, still be a good chance to kind of talk about this match. I'll talk about this current the coming few rounds for Bpro, because right now they haven't really got a good chance to shut down Impossible before they actually even the scoreline. They've got not a whole lot of money. Next round, assuming they fully eco in this one, will be the chance for them to rebuy. And Impossible at that point put themselves in decent standing to take themselves in the lead here. And when you're so close to the end of the half, you know, Bpro, I don't think they want to be losing this CT side.
I feel like for them losing the CT side, it wouldn't really spell anything too positive for them, just because of how much of a strong start they did have. And it's been such a shame, really, just to see these unfortunate issues strike both of these lineups in terms of the kind of off-the-cuff Counter-Strike has decided to crash on these sort of things. And, you know, I've been there. I've been playing a game, and your game just decides that it's literally just going to say Counter-Strike is not responding anymore. At that little blue circle of death. And it is infuriating, but I think the difference between me playing random ESEA games and these guys playing here is that these guys are playing, sure, it might not be tier 1 professional CS, but they're still playing professional CS. And I think that's something mentality-wise that is going to kick into gear as well that I want to highlight. In terms of just the fact of they're going to be able to recover from that. They're going to be able to just move on and still play the same game, the stuff they've practiced, stuff they've got rehearsed in the back of their minds. Now, to kind of tie that all in, I think the one thing that Impossible have to be careful of is just making sure that when they play out these rounds, that they just play safe and they just come to each other. If they come to each other and they play safe, they can always respond to the things that Bpro do. Even if it is just a flailing CT that charges you forward or a USP that taps away from Van, you should still be able to make it work.
Well, so far, it's still going to be 2 picks to the favour of Bpro on just pistols alone. Headshots are plenty for the USPs. 3 versus 5. Svat and Akimov have gone down. UMP to the favour now of Leffy. And Impossible now. We'll try for an A site hit. It's actually going to be very doable for them. They've still got the 2 AKs and the AWP in play for them. So it's just a case of trying to land the right shots at the right times and hope that Bpro don't get lucky again, because they have also got themselves an AK on Blocker who might push them through. The AWP from Plazino's watching out, as now it will be the bomb making its way. Good wall bang from Plazino. Great read onto where Leffy was. A 4 versus 3, but the spray comes in from Psycho. Manages to get Plazino down to 1 HP. He's still flicking with the AWP. Got himself a 2K. Poison's going to come around the side. Meanwhile, it's a 1 versus 2 situation. Here he needs to land 1 bullet, and indeed he will land several. It will be a 7th round on the board for Bpro off the back of a full eco. Impossible. We were talking about mentality, but right now, their morale must be through the floor here.
That's gotta hurt. Whole lot. Just the way it happened. Like, I'm literally chatting about it as it unfolds. I'm like, right, okay, you know, I'll play it off. They got a CZ aggressive pick. You know, it's just a CZ, right? You know, it's sort of thing that happens. It's okay. It's only a 4v5. And then the USP is able just to tap away and get himself another frag and apps. And like, okay, you know, he just had a good positioning. It's all good. A 3 versus 5, they can still outdo it with the firepower. And then it just gets worse and worse by the second. I don't know. It's kind of like this round, right? 4v4. Doesn't really feel like a 4v4 though, considering all the HP on the side are impossible. They've taken a lot of early damage. It looks like a USP is again going to be the death sentence of Akimov.
Svat's down to 13 HP and some 67. Not looking good for them. And in fact, Psycho gonna spot out the gun barrel. Easy pick for him. Impossible just falling apart like butterflies at this point. They're just getting picked off by a small child. Bpro are looking so likely to take themselves an 8th. And Impossible, you know, you said that they wanted to make something of this T side. But so far, you know, just the extra pistol buffer, maybe all they find at this point. A 1 versus 4 now for Svat. 13 HP on him. Doesn't spot out Ships. Ships is, of course... Oh, sorry, Ships is actually in apps. I thought he was on a boost there, but not to be the case. Svat will take down 1 more, but they know where he is. 30 seconds on the clock to get himself an extra time extended on the bomb plant, but... You know, again, the impossibility of this round is just too much for Svat. He'll go down. It will be 8-4. Favor of Bpro. Round number 13 coming into play here. And Impossible this time they've got no money to work with. No real chance for a full goodbye. Might half it. Might just Felico. I would Felico at this point. Get yourself the extra round loss bonus of the 3-round loss bonus. And try use that to buy in some good rifles in the next round. Because, well, the money's still sitting all right for Impossible. You know, it would be a very good buy in the next one. Assuming they do lose it. AWP, AKs, M4 out for Bpro. Impossible will take the bomb and head over towards the B site. Looks to be an apps push. Psycho's going to get aggressive. Might be able to take down a couple here. Starts off on Yova. Nakamura will take the frag right there. And he lines up all of them. 3 kills for him. Does go down eventually. But Ships is there to cover him off because I don't know where the bomb is. And he will just spray his way manically and take Bpro an easy 9th.
Furthering their half win now. Really just trying to push as much value as they can. Eking out every little round. It means all the more. How the second half is going to go. And I want to throw in the deep end real quick, Jay. Predictions for the second half? Are we thinking Bpro are going to be that talented T side that can close out this map? Or are you thinking that this is still a very even Stevens and Impossible have door open for them to really bring the fight?
Well, you know what? I think that it's mostly going to come down to that pistol round. You know, that'll be a great start. If Bpro take it, and I feel like they will take the series, they will take the map, and Impossible will be shut down. But it could just be a case that Impossible have a fantastic CT side. You know, traditionally this map is CT sided, although you can still debate whether that is still the case anymore. But so far, Bpro are definitely showing up the strength of their CT side as they pick apart Impossible once again, another round in a row. Like, it was all over the place for them. So many picks in so many different places, and Impossible will lose it out to Bpro. And now as we do approach the final round of the half, they have to buy into just Tech 9 armor, Force buys. Lots of utility for these guys. I'd like to see an A-site execution coming out from them and try to see if they can at least catch Bpro off at guard. Smoke will be out towards the sniper nest area. But now, it looks like it will indeed be the execution coming on through towards this A-site. Let's see if they can shut down the 2 rifle players from Bpro. 2 M4s on site. AWP can rotate quickly. Here it comes. Smokes, flashbangs, all the works. Over the top. Here we go. Impossible. Tech 9 execution. Akamov will start things off, taking down Leffy.
Shots will land, and it is going to lead them with a gateway open on towards this site as the door is going to be there for them to wander on through. But just because you take a leap of faith does not mean it is going to work out life. Always for living. Poison with the AWP is going to take down, and Solzay just really pushing that message to the fateful point. As what a drive-by from Ships, punishing more with the AK-47. Some brutal blows as bit by bit, Impossible fall to the floor. Half goes 11-4.
Well, that was Impossible's last chance in that case, and I wasn't too fond of it being able to pick it up because it was just Tech 9s at the end of the day. There was an opportunity, you know, they tried switching things up with the utility buy, of course, going for the execution, but it just wasn't sitting right with them. Bpro just knew exactly what to do, and Impossible went, I think, a little bit too aggressive out towards CT stairs, and that really cost them in this case. But now it's going to be down to their CT side. Can they rally back the comeback? A pistol round would be godlike for them in this current situation to save themselves in this series. They need to find themselves a pistol. Now, on the analyst desk, they were talking about the Bpro T side, and we saw about the A-site execution. I'm curious to see how they set this up from the Bpro side. Psycho's going to be the one that has himself the utility here. And they're actually going to go for, well, actually an A-site fake in this case. They're going to go putting all the rest of the players out towards B. Impossible look a little bit set up to deal with this. They have got 2 players over there and 1 on the A site, so quick rotations can be called. Nakamov's going very aggressive in towards this site. into App, seeing if he can take down Leffy or Ships. Ships will take that first face, and it will be over, taking down the first. Here we go. It's going to be pushing on towards the B site. They know where the bomb is, so now it will be Plazino watching out across still. The P2K from Ships picks it up, gets himself a headshot. It's now a 4 versus 3. Drops the bomb, looking for one more onto Insomni. Will find it. 3 kills for Ships. Now Spat's going to come in from short, seeing if he can do a little bit of damage. Joven's watching out from Market, looking to see if anyone's going to peek, and Leffy might just give it up to him. He gets taken down at 30 HP, and now the CTs will have no choice but to try and force the issue of the retake. Defuse kit is on Joven. He can't go down, otherwise this one will be all over. I think he will. Svat, last man alive. 1 versus 3. Has to find all these free kills, and he has to find them quick. He's going to get close in from all 3 angles. Still takes 1 headshot, but Poison comes in and brings Bpro the 12th round that they were looking for, and this one could be where they take it over the edge.
It's gonna get tough right now for Impossible. That is all that can be said. I know it almost sounds like speaking the obvious, right? But it really is gonna get tougher and tougher. And these are the tests that teams are really built out of, right? Every team goes through hard times when it's formed. Every team has its story, has its moment in the darkness where they have to step up and they have to learn from a screw up and an official. I don't know honestly whether that's this for Impossible. Could be a second, third, or even 6th appearance for them now when it comes down to these unfortunate mishaps. But up against Bpro, as much as the analysts set out a picture of it being a close game, this feels anything but close in the second map, just as much as the first. Finally a 5-7, going to try and do some work here and there, but a trade always lined up. Walker and Psycho both go 2 for 2, leading us to a 3 versus 3 with the B site under control. A short retake to come in, but it's a Vat with a Deagle unable to land just another follow-up shot. That's the wheels in motion. Rotating round. No short presence that can be guarded. You try and force the issue. An AK-47 is there to one-tap you away. The Ships will get that bomb plant down, and it's going to mean that as that does tick away, Impossible, their hopes and dreams of winning this series coming out on top of Group C in the Adria Masters, it begins to thin on out.
1v3, impossible for Impossible. Ships will take that final kill. 2k for him. And Bpro rolling their way onto what could be the end of this series. They still have 3 more rounds to take it. Impossible will have themselves a rifle buy in 1. This round is just once again going to be Bpro doing the rounds against Impossible lineup here. There is 4 USPs, 1 P2K, standardized default pistols. In some way, we want to get 1 because we're going to see if we can look for a second, but we'll get pushed away from the sniper nest. Nakamov is doing a little bit of good work out towards the apps area. We'll tag down several players, but we'll get taken down eventually. So, AK on Joven is all they've got to work with. No armor, no utility. Going to do some serious damage to Plazino as well. So, poison sprays away, it takes him out, and just like that. I mean, Impossible, it wasn't even that bad of a round from Impossible, you know. They've got Leffy down to 4 HP, Psycho's on 28. So the fact that they were able to get that much tag damage in with just USPs and standard pistols isn't that bad for them. It's just a case that they just couldn't get it over the edge. They couldn't find themselves the picks. They couldn't find themselves the man advantage and the same sort of eco round we saw coming out of Bpro on their CT side. So as a result, that's going to leave them in 14-4 fashion, 10-round deficit between Bpro and Impossible. So Impossible, needless to say, they've got a mountain to climb. At least they will get 1 last pick, but the UMP isn't going to be what Impossible were looking for to go into this next round with. Now, AK, UMP saved from the last round. AWP, M4 is going to get brought up. This is last chance saloon for this CT side. They need to make it work now or never. Otherwise, it will be overtime or bust. And more likely bust than anything else against the Bpro side. 10 rounds for Impossible to make up. 12 rounds to take it to victory and take it to map 3. AK's out for Bpro, and it looks like they're going to set up for an ASI execution.
By far the most belittling number, the one that is probably the most important, is just the number needed for Bpro to end this one. Just the 2. 1 here in this immediate future. A Molotov is going to go down on the site to try and block them away, as the bomb will also find itself planted. A flash to be thrown over onto the stairs. A Bpro side at pretty significant disadvantage, but you have a player like Ships who can always bring it back, fights it tooth and nail to a 2v4. Another trade comes in from Zavat with the UMP. Zone it back on its head, leaving Psycho now to do it all from Palace, but he's done just enough to now be able to play this one out. A smoke actually working out in his favor this time, as he can just play peekaboo with it, try and force 2 1v1s in its own respect. There's a lot of time to be played. Neither of these players actually opting to play with their kits right now. Instead, they just have to hold the angles. The peek does come in, going 1 for 1.
Oh my
That,
god.
though, gonna get straight on it, but does he have time? The answer, we know, and that was my concern. You had to be on that bomb just so much quicker. Being on the bomb there without a kit to be more correct about it, it's just useless. It's just too little, too late. I appreciate the attempt, but at 15-4, it's not good enough.
See, here's the problem with that CT retake. Svat had a defuse kit. He had it on him, and yet they still opted for Insom to go ahead and get that defuse instead. Which doesn't make any sense, because he literally stuck that for as long as the peak came out.
I can see the thought process, which is like,
yeah,
all right, the second player is gonna, the player with the kit is not gonna go on the bomb first, because he can then take the frag and then get straight on the bomb. But realistically, why not just put the first player on the bomb and just have that second player force the uncomfortable fight and force his attention elsewhere? I know, like, sure, just because you're being shot does not mean you have to aim into him, but I don't feel like that was the most efficient way of going about it, to say the least. And we can almost overanalyze it to our heart's content, but it is what it is at the end of the day. It is now 15-4. Again, a matchup that was fated to be so damn close, but this is looking anything but. A death sentence still waiting amongst the heads of Impossible. They fight back harder and harder every single round they try. Such a big journey and to have to fulfill if they want to be able to bring this one back. As for now, they were in a 5v2, but it is going to be at least one to be eked out by Leffy. Then going to be made to be a little bit more difficult by this T side, as they refuse to bow down at any given moment. Every round means something to them. Every little scoreline, every little notch on this, should we say, has an impact. So, for them, getting 16-4 victory, well, for Ships and Leffy, they're going to have a crack at it.
And they might as well. They've got decent standing in economy, not the best thing in the world, but still should be enough to buy back with Leffy's current standing. Well, with a half buy at the very least. And, you know, even then, you know, they've got tons of rounds to play with. You know, they've got, you know, 5 rounds if Impossible win this one. So, Ships very unlikely to get this one. 10 seconds on the clock. Out towards underpass might just save the AK. So, 15-5, favour of Bpro still. Ships taking one last cheeky kill onto Blazino as well. It's not looking the right way. So, that's that. 15. 10 round deficit between these two teams once again. Ships will buy up an AK. It's going to be the force buy coming in from Bpro. And again, they can afford to do this. You know, they've got lots of rounds to play with against Impossible, but Impossible, once again, we can't stress enough how much they need to bring this comeback here. It needs to be flawless. They cannot lose for a second. They cannot falter once at all. And if Bpro win at least one round, regardless of whether it's full buy or eco, it is going to be 2-0 to the favour of them in the series. A slight execution looks to be on the cards. Utility-based buy with 5 smokes is at the ready. It will be Joven and then some to defend it here. Smokes, flashbangs, all of it going over the top once again. Joven's first man in will be able to take down one. Blazino comes back, Poison with a quick Tech 9 kill. It's a 3 versus 4 situation. It favours the Impossible side, and now the sprays from the AK will try to do as much damage as Insom can. Akamov is also watching him out as Poison does cross, get sprayed down. Bomb does get planted, but there is no way that Bpro are going to be able to defend this after plant 4 versus 2. Tech 9 UMP, 17 and 18 HP. The AWP is already watching the cross. He knows that one's sitting in Tetris, and he will peek onto Blocker, looking for his second. All Psycho, Insom spots him out and sprays him down. It will be the defuse coming on through, and Impossible will get themselves a 6th.
The rounds, they feel fairly hype. They are fairly competitive. 2 things we can't take away from this matchup right now, but 15-6 still. One small mistake can kill Impossible and force them over the edge. Series loss. When is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? Many a question, many a topic. Right now, I feel like it certainly is going to take place. It's just whether it's the aggression of these Tech 9s that will be the weapons to dish out the damage. In the past, it actually has been, because when you play with these Tech 9s, you do something much more off the cuff, something much more random, and at that point, if you abuse one player, if one player screws up, you can isolate a site, and from there, that one player, that one pick, leads to a second. It's almost a catalyst for success rate, to put it friendly. So it's going to be an interesting one to see kind of how Impossible do kind of adapt here. They tried to put the pressure on towards Akamov, I feel, but their Molotov was pretty smart as it stopped this all-in push to come out, but it was a little too shallow. And that did allow the jump to come in, and the Tech 9s do eventually claim his life, and that's going to be a problem now. Sure, some trades do come in, but a drive by Tech 9, it's still a tough piece to tackle.
Still a 3 versus 3. AWP still watching out the cross, and once again, Bpro will get themselves a bomb plant. So after plant and retake has to be forced for the impossible side. But 3 players versus 2, this one should go to the favour of the CTs, and indeed it will in some. And Plazino landing themselves 2 nice kills to close it out, and it will be a 7th round on the board for the impossible side. So this comeback is definitely ringing true with the possibility for the impossible side. You know, there's a decent chance that they can actually make this one work. They have got themselves Bpro to deal with, and another rifle buy here on the cards. Limited utility on Leffy, but I think that's more of a case that he's just opting not to play for the utility, let his other teammates get the smokes and the flashbangs and just save money for the next round of the event. That they do need to go for another rebuy, which makes sense in this case. Bpro still taking a little less, still being a little bit light on the risk when it comes down to their overall buy-ups here. But now it will be first pick for Plazino. He does get traded out by the AK-47 AWP out of the action for the impossible side. They have still got one on Akimov, however. Ship's going to be able to trade, and so far it's a 3 versus 3. Akimov on scopes at the worst possible time out towards Apsbeam. That's going to get that pick back towards the favour of the impossible side until he does get traded 2-on-2. Poison down to 9 HP. AWP of his own. Bombs on its way over towards the A site as Akimov is the last man alive. This round has fallen apart once again for Impossible, but there's still a chance for Akimov. Can he really find his cross? If he can shut down the bomb plant, then this could be the way back into this round for the CT side. Watching out from Connector. Doesn't have any information. He is going to be able to defend this A site. However, there's a Leffy and Poison. No utility on their side. They will slowly start to peek their way in towards A site and hope that their aim battles are going to be able to work out to their favour. Meanwhile, Akimov has rotated to the B site. He has no idea this is coming in. He has no idea this bomb plant is going to be on the A site. He will realise it now as it does go down. And the retake is on for him to save his team in this series to qualify for the playoffs here in the Adria Masters. Watching out the cross from Connector, but it's just not going to be good enough. He has to get this defuse coming on through. And Poison and Leffy have got their angles locked out. They've got the crossfire set up. So Akimov has got a lot of work to do. Molotov out towards lower dark. Now they know he's in jungle. He will peek on through, looking for Leffy. He peeks away the wrong angle, turns his back on him, and as a result, he stabs him in the back. 16-7 favour of Bpro. We'll be able to take the series and advance to the playoff series. We're going to go to a break now, and the analysts are going to